what do you see as the biggest challenge facing IPAC over the next year?
I'm really excited to be the president of IPAC. I've always seen IPAC as a uniquely positioned in Canada it's the one network that brings together federal, provincial, local, First Nations, people in government, public servants, and academia. And we're active not only in Canada, but I wonder if people also knew IPAC's active in over 35 countries, every continent in the world. That's IPAC today. Now we have our challenges. We have to secure our funding base. We need to grow our membership. And to grow our membership, we need to show our value proposition. What does IPAC stand for? What value do we represent? We do that through research. We do that on the leadership side. And it's really establishing a higher profile for IPAC. That's really what I see.
So if I am a public servant and I'm thinking of joining IPAC, what would you tell me is the value proposition? Is it simply the bringing together of all these various parties, or is there something I get out of it?
Well, I would certainly emphasize that if you're a new public servant, the opportunity to get out of your silo, get out of your small workplace, and join this national entity and make connections. Yesterday, at the conference here, we had young professionals just join government, able to sit with deputy ministers in a one-on-one meeting. What other organization will give you that kind of opportunity? People make lifelong associations through IPAC. For public servants, to know what's cutting-edge research that academics are doing, that are presented here at the conference, that are available through IPAC. IPAC also does case studies that can be drawn down. IPAC offers Public Service Without Borders. It's a website tool where you can create a community of interest and meet others that share that interest with you. These are just some of the examples of things that are available through IPAC.
As Deputy Minister of CRA, you will know about the challenges facing the public sector in general. What role do you think IPAC plays in helping the practitioners deal with some of those challenges?
Well, as you know, the clerk has launched Blueprint 2020, and he's spoken about it. Blueprint 2020 is an engagement process. It's what makes it different from previous renewal processes launched in the past by former clerks. He's not saying, here's the blueprint. He's saying, I'm calling on you to get involved, get engaged. You know, a lot of people have been talking about the public service. A lot of people have been criticizing the public service. I think it's time we gave public servants a chance to have their voice and have their say in the public service of the future. Now, a lot of this conversation is happening inside the public service of Canada, but that's not totally healthy. We need to open the doors. And here again, here's the role for IPAC. IPAC is here as a vehicle to broaden this discussion, get outside voices, and maybe this same conversation that we're having in the Government of Canada, maybe it ought to be echoed in provinces, at the local government.
That's a really interesting notion. Could IPAC maybe take the concepts and then expand it to not just how the federal government must renew itself, but how the public sector in itself is going to have to do that to remain relevant?
We'll see how this unfolds. I mean, here at the Montreal conference, we use the webinar, we use Twitter feed, and this conversation that previously had been restricted to the Government of Canada has now gone coast to coast to coast, 270 Twitter sites, LinkedIn. What will happen? Will this conversation now bubble out, cross borders? If so, that's a good thing, and IPAC has played a role in that.
Could IPAC play a more proactive role, do you think, down the line in this?
I'm sure we would be happy to do so. This is exactly the kind of space that IPAC likes to occupy. Yeah. IPAC is not all things to all people. In fact, we always need to kind of focus on what's our niche. But public service renewal, public administration, leadership, this is an area that IPAC has value.
What role does the academic community play in helping public servants get this? You know, what can they contribute to the whole change process and transformation challenges we're facing?
Well, I think to drive change, you need to engage the people that are part of the institution. But as I was saying, getting outside voices, it's also a driver of change. So there's different aspects to that. One is Canadians, citizens. our clients, the people we serve. They have a right to have a say about the kind of public service they want to see. But what about academics? What about people who spent their lifetime studying public administration, who have evidence, who have a broad view of how things are done in other countries and what the possibilities are? They have a very important voice, and we're eager to listen.
So you're in for a year formally as president. I appreciate this goes on after. What would be the legacy you would like to leave behind when you walk out the door?
Well, I'm not adding to the agenda of IPAC. We've already established our priorities and our plans. We have a very strong board. We have some returning members. We have new members. And with this board, I really just want to see these things through. I want to take the plans we want. I want to see them through. I want to execute them. When I'm done, when my year's up, I want to be able to know that we've grown IPAC. The profile of IPAC is higher. There's more members, and the members feel that IPAC is serving them.
I must make one final point. It strikes me that you are the first federal deputy in a long time to get involved at this level with IPAC. Is this signaling a bit of a change in terms of the importance the federal government bureaucracy is putting on IPAC?
I think it is. Being candid, I think the federal government has just by neglect not been as supportive of IPAC as it might have been. In fact, I'll tell you one of the reasons that I got engaged was that there were only 3 federal departments that were institutional partners of IPAC. And I found this surprising. IPAC's strength more at the provincial and the local level of the federal government. This I found personally embarrassing as a federal deputy, and I tasked myself to do something about it. Already this year we have 12 federal departments. That's in 1 year. And now we're going to show them how we can align IPAC to the federal government. So I have some work to do, but I'm convinced I'm the person that can do it.